Good morning, good morning, good morning, you lovely lot. It is Saturday. I'm at my new dog sit. Came last night. Let me introduce you to Enzo, the brown dog, and Millie, the white and brown dog. That's Millie. There's Enzo. Older pups, quite set in their ways. Millie is refusing to eat, but apparently she's been doing that for a little while anyway and can be funny about food. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it and hopefully she'll eat something more than a slice of ham, which is all she's had. I have had a lay-in this morning. I did get up, feed the dogs and what have you, and the cats, and then went back to bed for a little bit. Tried to read but fell asleep. But I always now assume that my body just needed that, so I go with it. Walking through this lovely field. Footpath goes through the middle. The farmer is maintaining this one really well, I have to say. This is a fantastically maintained footpath. So hurrah to this farmer. It's actually got a nice clear path through the middle. It rained a little bit this morning, so there's dew on the crops. This is the view I have. It's not far from where I live. Only about maybe 3 or 4 miles. So you can see off in the distance over there is the same hill line that you see from my house. Now this is interesting. Do we think these might be ground bees? Look, all the way up that path there's tiny little holes. That's how they're structured. The very flat bit in the centre and a hole, and the hole is very small, but there's also these holes here. Now I have seen similar in the past, but I don't remember them being this small. The ones I remember seeing were bees, solitary ground bees. But look how many there is up there. I wonder what that is. Does anybody know? Because I'm very intrigued. Good old Google has assured me it is the mining bees that I was thinking of. Mining bees, not ground bees. That's what I was thinking. Mining bees. Anyway, I want to show you all these different flowers. All these giant daisies. I don't know the name of these plants. All these wild grasses. And then we've got these dandelions that are not dandelions. Again, I could Google, but I haven't. I think this is willow herb that's growing there. Or is that the one that the caterpillars like? And I can't remember what the caterpillars are called. Anyway, this is a wildflower meadow at the side of the crops. It's between 2 rows of crops, or 2 fields of crops. So this is what you would call a wildlife corridor, and the farmers tend to plant these to encourage lots of bees, butterflies, good insects to come along, and then that will help pollinate their crops. Anyway, let's go exploring through this bit. Oh, we've got lots of clover down here as well. I'm getting a little bit soggy because, as you can see, there's a lot of dew on here. Well, actually it's not dew, it's rain, because I had the rain come down earlier this morning. Right, let's go pups. Let's go through here, and I might actually do a little bird identification as well while I'm going through. Let's do that as well, shall we? And we'll see what comes up. I'll take a little screenshot of what I capture. I've just found a whole patch interdispersed with nettles, but there's a whole bunch of creeping thistles here. So I've got a nice big thistle in my garden. Has a bigger head on it and bigger leaves. But this creeping thistle is very pretty. Look at that. I've just used Google Lens on the dandelions that are not dandelions. The extra tall dandelions are actually called hawksweed. There we go, hawksweed. They do have very dandelion-y heads. And I might even Google the bigger daisies. They might just be daisy, but you know, I'm sure they have a different name. Oh look, there's an actual dandelion just there. A real one. See, very similar. Well, it's coming up as common daisy, so I'm not going to argue with that. I just thought common daisies were much smaller, but I don't know, maybe eventually, if they're not mown down too often, they get this tall. I don't know. No idea. I wouldn't have thought they ever do. I mean, it must be a different type of daisy, because that is incredibly tall. I mean, can you imagine making a daisy chain out of that? It'd be massive. Anyway, they're beautiful nonetheless, even if I can't exactly work out what they are. And even on this pathway, there's a lot of groundsel ready to flower. There's still lots of things waiting. It's just on the edge of the crops here, just in the edges. Still lots of things ready to bloom for the insects, to feed them. I have to show you the pretty cornflowers though. Look at the colour of those standing out. And you can see them all the way down the track there. There's loads of them. And then I can hear a skylark in the background. I always think a skylark sounds like a computer game. Time to clean out the water bowls. Pearl has had an injury for a couple of weeks now. By an injury I mean a bit of a sore leg. So I need to give her some pain relief. It's Emdocam. Right. Yeah, it's got rid of the air. And I'm going to do it while she's eating, because that'll just be a whole lot easier. So if you don't like needles, you probably shouldn't have watched that. I will put a little disclaimer, but if you don't like needles, I'm about to inject a sheep, so don't watch that, and I'll let you know when it's, you know, done. Do it while your head's in the bucket, love. Is that what we're going to do? Where's your shoulder blade, you say? You are so fat, it's untrue. We are a little bit worried she's put on too much weight. Sorry, love. Good girl. Yeah, we're a little bit worried that when she's gets sheared, we're still waiting on the shepherd to be able to fit us in, that yes, we're going to get told off, because I do think she's quite fat. Like, she's solid up here. Yeah, I think she's overweight, and we think that might be part of the problem. But the thing is, she was in the field with the mama sheep. She's also been in here with Ziggy, who we were fattening up because he was too skinny, and she really didn't need it. So they're all down to one feed again now, rather than the two. They've all fattened up nicely. Some a little more than others. You're doing all right, aren't you? See, you're a good... Yeah, you see, you're not too... I know you're a complete different sheep, but you see, and you're younger. But Nellie's, you know, nowhere near the size of Pearl. I just had a quick look around in here, and there is no babies. So I think they must have flown away. Although I can hear some in here. There goes Mama. We've been donated this for Salem. Kenzie spent yesterday hoovering it and then wiping off any stains or mucky marks on it. And then we're going to put it back together again, and it's going to go in the corner of his bedroom, because that's where Salem hangs out. Well, we finally built it. We had some issues. Kenzie is in charge of some catnip. We're going to, what's the word? Douse it? I don't know. sprinkle it, lace it. The dogs helped by running off with a piece and chewing it, which was this piece here, which was really not very helpful, but there we go. Kenzie's super glued it. Yes, Kenzie found out super glue gets hot. We are exploring the village on an evening walk. Come on, pups. Come on. Really lovely cottages. All of the original buildings are nice stone buildings. This sort of stone, or the big stone for the big houses, like this one that's coming up. Look at that. Really lovely. A few of the buildings have got these on. They kind of hold the buildings together, so it goes all the way through. Stops them subsiding. I love the use of the tiles here to make this archway. That's really clever. That's a really nice feature. And a lovely old door. Look at the knocker on that. Stop laughing. I know what I said. I didn't mean it the way it came out. This is definitely what you would call a very quintessentially quaint and British village. It's beautiful. I love it when you get these kind of clues as to what this place was. Look, sign that says the old bakery. And I wonder if that up there is where the winch came out to bring the flour bags up into the bakery maybe. And that cottage is called Baker's Cottage, right next to the bakery. So I guess that's where they lived. I've walked down here before. There's a big manor house behind there. Huge walled garden. Sure there's some history to be told about that one, but I just don't know it. But I will do a little bit of research and come and do a proper explore of this village at some point and give you some more info. Look at these lovely buildings. I can almost imagine horses and carts, and look at the herringbone, look at that. And the chimneys. There's just so much detail. It's beautiful. Beautiful, and I could not afford to live here. It would be a lot of upkeep. Wow, the size of that door is huge. Ah, this one's called the Thatcher's Cottage. There are a lot of thatched cottages. This is not one of them, but I do wonder if maybe that is where the Thatcher lived. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Well, that's very pretty. So you can actually walk through here. It says there's a footpath, so I'm going through it. Got griffins, huge, great big griffins. Facing the wrong way for us though, sadly. Got a terraced garden. I wonder why it is that we can walk through the middle of this terraced garden. There must have been an original pathway through here. Maybe this was an original road at some point. And there's the church at the end of it. What a beautiful view. We've decided to walk through the graveyard. Well, the dogs decided, they pulled me this way. Well, apparently there's Commonwealth war graves here. I'm not sure where. That might be worth exploring on another day. Now, if I keep going this way and follow this path all the way out the back of this church and all the way in that direction, I'll make it home again. But I'm not going home. Hanging out here with the dogs. I think if I keep going this way, I can get myself into the park and then walk back down the main road. That'll be a nice little walk for them. Not too far. And then it's dinner time. Now, can I get into the park? The park is over there. Let's go and explore, shall we? It looks like there might be a little path down there. Grass has been mown. Looks like it might be ready to be baled maybe. I don't know if they bale this, or they can't just leave it in piles, can they? That would be silly. Be a waste. Oh, look at all this leftover. Oh wow. All this masonry. But can you see the shape? It's all been worked. This will have been from some old house. There we've got, look, with the line down the middle and a hole. I wonder what that was for. That's interesting. Do you think they had a pane of glass or something in it at some point? There's loads of it. Some really interesting shapes. Look there. It's been really well worked, that. I think those did have windows in, because if you look down there, it looks like there's putty or something in that gap. Wow. Really is beautiful. Really do live in a beautiful part of the world. I know it's not the lakes or the peaks or any of those places, and you know what? I'm glad it's not, because that just gets filled up with tourists. I'm close enough to Oxford for it to be a touristy place, but I'm out in the sticks. And that means I get the best of both worlds. I get to enjoy the touristy elements, but I also get to enjoy the beauty without it being completely covered in tourists and hikers. I mean, we do get a lot of hikers, but not like you do in the peaks and the lakes and other big national parks. So yeah, I'm happy. Kissing gate. Anyone for a kiss? Through the kissing gate. It's traditional, you know. You have to have a kiss as you're going through the gate. Oh, found the park. There we go. I know where I am again. We'll walk back down the road. I've started this puzzle. It's now getting quite late in the evening. It's the streets of Oxford, and it's harder than I thought it would be. So, yeah, I've got a week to do it in. I think somebody is trying to tell me it's bedtime. Keeps whining at me. This one's refusing to eat. Managed to get a bowl of food into her in the last 2 days, a sausage and a little bit of ham.